The next one is paradox. Paradox is a statement that looks contradictory or stupid to common sense, but on a second look, it is meaningful. That's paradox. That means a statement that you first hear, you'd be like, no, 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 that's not possible. No, that does not make sense. But when you now think about it clearly, you'd be like, think that makes sense. That's what paradox is. A very good example that we are very familiar with is the child is the father of the man. The child is the father of the man. Does that make sense to you? Of course not. It does not make sense, right? But when you look at it closely, be like, the child is the father of the man. That means that the child is the father of that man. That man was a child before he became a man. Somebody gave birth to him, Abi. So he also gave birth to another person. So that means he's now a man. The child that gave birth to that man also has a grandpa. Let's look at it this way. So the child is the father of that man. So we have a man that has, let's say, two children. Now this child gave birth to that man, right? So that means this child also has a father. So let's say the father is like 120 years old. This child is about let's say 70 years old. Now if this child goes to see his father, what will he say? Daddy, good afternoon, sir. With their sick, they'll be doing good afternoon. Right, good day. So the child is the father of the man. The point you're trying to make here is that as a child, right, the child will eventually become a man. When that child is with his father, it's still a child. The child will give birth to children that will become men. That is paradox. Another example, very good example, think from William Shakespeare. So he said, cowards die many times before their death. Cowards die many times before their death. Now that might look very untrue or stupid because cowards, they run from things. They don't even wait. Like they run away from things a lot. So how do they die before their death? A very good example. Now let's say a coward is in a 3-story building and a coward hears a gunshot. What happens? The coward can jump from that 3rd-story building and jump down, and then he breaks his leg and then he dies. They are not shooting the gun to him. They are not targeting him. They are shooting gun place that is very far from where he is. But what happens? Because he's a coward, right? What happens? Eventually what? He jumps from his story building and then breaks his leg and then eventually ends up in the hospital. So that is what? A paradox. A statement that looks stupid at first, but it is what? It is meaningful. Very meaningful. So that means those are statements that look stupid, but they are very deep. They are very deep statements. That's what we call paradox.